So, I was uh, I was sleeping with my phone on. I turned on my phone on to listen to my Watch Later playlist on YouTube as I was falling asleep, and I just fell asleep. So it just kept playing the next video and the next video and the next video while I was asleep. And when I woke up, it was still playing in the morning, right? And I was like, oh, I can hear something. I guess I left my phone on. And then this is the first thing that I hear audibly, like that registers in my brain as soon as I wake up.
My son, you are all that survives me. Do not disappoint me.
My son, you are all that survives me. Do not disappoint me. And at that point, I'm like, I just, I woke up like wide awake. My eyes were wide awake. I'm like, the fuck? And then, um, I've been hearing the voice of God since March of this year, and then God just says, no pressure. No pressure. I'm like, yeah, okay. No pressure. Even after the quote, you're all that survives me. Do not disappoint me. I'm like, okay, no pressure. You know, this is the kind of. When I was manic and psychotic back in 2012 for the first time, um, and back then I was believing I'm like the fifth prophet, and that that I had to save the world, and it's hard to imagine what if you actually believe that and feel the weight of the world. But in 2012, I was crushed by that pressure. I was absolutely crushed, and like it felt like I was physically being crushed too. Like I couldn't take the pressure, and yeah, it was devastating. And that's again in 2014. That pressure of the weight of the world on me was one of the reasons that I walked out into this wooded area with a Swiss Army knife, and I never intended to come out until the Beatles saved me, which I'm not going to tell that story now. I've told it a few times already on my main channel, but yeah, all I wanted back then was just to not be part of any of this plan by God, and just back then I just wanted to be like a normal guy, a normal dude who wasn't anything particularly special. I just wanted out. I didn't want to be, you know, any kind of special person, because the pressure was too much. I couldn't handle the pressure. So that was me back in Mania and Psychosis in 2012, 2014. 2018, when I had my episode again, I didn't quite have that same pressure. It was different, but 2012 and 2014, the pressure was real, and it was crushing. Anyway, so that was back then. And back then I wasn't even told about being Jesus Christ. I was never Jesus Christ. I was the fifth prophet sometime after Jesus Christ. That was the delusion back then. And now, with since March of this year, 2026, being told this time that I am the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. um, and I was trying to brush it off as manic delusion again. Um, but this time I'm not hospitalized. I'm sleeping well, which is like, thank God for that. I would hate to be manic and psychotic again right now. After after being after having my last episode end in 2019. So it's been what, 7 years? 7 years of no mania and psychosis. So I'm still on antipsychotics every 3 months, but yeah, I'm sleeping well. Some nights more than others. Anyways, yeah, speak. I don't feel, even after what just happened this morning, I mean, God speaks to me directly in my head, as well as through music lyrics, as well as through movies. As that movie that's saved on YouTube that was playing on my Watch Later playlist is called The Kingdom of Heaven. I heard it was a good movie. I was gonna watch it when I feel like it. So I was gonna watch it. That's why I was saved on my Watch Later, and God speaking me through lines of a movie. My son, you are all that survives me. Do not disappoint me. And then the voice of God saying, no pressure. So it's a mix. The communication is through different kinds of mediums, music lyrics, movies, or just videos, or through other people, or through direct voice, God's voice. And then again, the clarification. This time, it's not Father, God the Father, because this time the relationship's different. I said, so I questioned back. You said, my son? And then God said, I've said this in previous videos, I am not your mother, I am not your father. I am your aibo, the Japanese word for partner. Equal partners working towards something together. So the relationship is different from before, but and also, and I guess I'm gonna get into this. This time I'm told I don't have to sacrifice myself, but part of what I have to do, as well as what other people, other humans have to do, is the mission this time is to bring heaven on earth. As the Bible says, a new earth. You know, heaven is a temporary place, even for people who die. The permanent place for people who die. Heaven is temporary, and then people go to a new earth. And the mission this time is to create a new earth. On earth, this earth, to turn this old earth into a new earth. And to bring heaven to earth. And, you know, I've had visions of being transferred my consciousness being transferred to a different new body in the distant future. Just like the movie Avatar, where the main character gets transferred his consciousness from his human body to an alien body. It wouldn't be an alien body, but I got a vision of being transferred to another human body. And I was like, oh shit, is that actually a vision of the future? Where people are going to be able to figure out how to transfer consciousness to another man-made body, to an empty body with no consciousness, and to transfer consciousness from one body to another, just like in the movie Avatar. So that means I won't get to... Before my birth was the last time that I was in heaven, and that means from this lifetime onwards, for the time being at least, I will just be on Earth and not die at the end of this body's life. At the end of this life, end of the of this body is what I'm trying to say. I was like, oh, I guess time will tell if that vision is actually for real, or if it's just a meaningless vision. Because, I don't know if you've heard people talking about near-death experiences, but and people who go on psychedelics, but this world is less real than the world after. Like, I've heard so many times people who have near-death experiences, people who go on psychedelics, where they're like, the world beyond is so much more real that this earthly world feels like fake and shallow in comparison to how real the other world is. Talking about how expansive and overwhelming and beautiful it is. That's why I don't fear death after hearing all that. I fear dying because the process of dying is scary. But after you're dead and you're gone from this body, that I'm not afraid of. Like the dying painful part, sure. But if I were to like die in my sleep because like, I don't know, the ceiling caves in on me and I just die in my sleep or something, that I wouldn't mind, because then I'd just be, the people here left behind on Earth would be suffering because my loved ones who would be sad that I'm gone, but me, I wouldn't really care that much because I'm just having a blissful time in the other realm, right? So I don't fear what comes after death. If anything, I welcome it. But I might not be able to taste that if I have to bring heaven on earth along with the other people here doing the same thing. It's not like I'm acting alone. It's the whole of humanity that acts together. And I don't know what you'd think about this, but from what I understand, we are three-dimensional beings, and in higher dimensions, like fourth dimensions, in the fourth dimension, like we are in a three-dimensional space, but in the fourth dimensional space, all our past, present, and future is all like a sausage, like a 4D sausage. And Einstein talks about this, the 4D space-time sausage. String theory is similar in terms of what 4D is like. the past, present, and future is all there. It's already there, and each slice is each moment in time as we move forward in the slice of the sausage. And that's a very, so it means predeterministic, super deterministic or something, right? That means like everything is already decided what's going to happen. That is fate, that is destiny, and you cannot change it. And a lot of people find that uncomfortable because they don't, just like Neo in The Matrix being my favorite movie of all time, Morpheus asks, "Do you believe in fate, Neo?" And Neo says, "No, because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life." And that's how a lot of people feel. I've come to accept that we have the sense of feeling of being in control, just like a character in a novel acting on free will based on personality and experience. But the novel is already written, and the author wrote all of it out, and the character just lives through the novel from beginning to end, oblivious that everything is already written by the author. That's the best way I can describe fate, destiny, determinism. People don't like the idea of fate and destiny, at least a lot of people, but everything is turning out as it should. That's one of my mantras, and that's what it means. Everything is already written, and we are just living through it. And just like Morpheus says in The Matrix, even if you knew what your life was going to be like from beginning to end, there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. So we just live through slice by slice in this 4D space-time sausage and live out our fate and destiny. So, you know how there's a lot of, as you can see if you're watching this in the future, it's 2026 right now. There's a lot of fear of what's to come with AI. Will it create a societal collapse or even kill us? And, well, I'm not worried, because in the end, decades from now, things will be fine. Humanity will make it and get past this precipice of danger and on the brink of destruction. Yeah, a new earth will come. A new earth will come, and heaven on earth. It'll be heaven on earth, but it'll take a long time, and in the meantime things are going to get worse. So I'm not saying it's all going to be peachy and rainbows, but a lot of people are going to suffer ever more before things start to get better. As the saying goes, the night is darkest just before the dawn, but the dawn is coming. But it's not the darkest moment yet, so we have to go through the darkest moment first before the dawn comes. So, no need to worry as long as you survive through the next few decades. It'll be fine after that.